Fellow geeks, and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather and I'm glad you're here because it's time for another episode of the Running ABCs. For those of you who are new here, first of all, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the regular running content that I have coming out on this channel all the time. The Running ABCs is a series that I've put together of running vocabulary that you need to get to know if you're a relatively new runner, so that as you're reading things about running or talking to people who have been running for a while, then you'll have an idea of what they're talking about. And I know that when I first started, it was kind of hard to get all of this information together and figure it out, so I put this series together in hopes that it can help you out. I'm going to have a link up here and also at the end of the video so that you can catch up on all of the episodes that you've missed so far. But right now, we're going to move ahead with the letter S. Shin splints. This is pain that is in or around your shin bones. It's usually caused by amping up a little too much too soon, adding a little bit too much speed or a little bit too much distance before your body is prepared for it. While you're already out there, go ahead and bring your speed back. You may even slow down to a walk in order to get it to go away. If it doesn't go away, then head on home, treat it with some ice, compression, or rest. Another cause of it could be that your running shoes are not giving you enough support, so check out your running shoes and maybe consider looking at something with a little bit more cushion for you. Side stitch, also known as a side sticker. This is a pain that you usually feel in your rib cage as you're moving, although sometimes it can be pretty much anywhere in your torso. There are several perceived causes of this, such as a cramp in your diaphragm, perhaps too much gas in your stomach after eating, or could be too much food in your system. Usually you're going to get one of these stitches in your side if you tend to be pushing a little bit harder, like during a race or during a workout. One of the things that you can do to help get rid of a side stitch is pay attention to which foot is hitting the ground when you inhale and which foot is hitting the ground when you exhale, and see if you can switch that pattern up. If you were leading with your right foot, then when you inhale, try leading with your left foot instead. If that doesn't help you, you can stop running and raise both arms up over your head. Once you have your arms up, lean in the opposite direction of the stitch so that you can help work that cramp out and give yourself a little bit of relief. Specificity. This pretty much just means that the training that you're doing should be specific for your overall goal. If you are training towards a faster 5K, then of course you're going to need more speed sessions in your workouts. If you're looking for something that's longer, like a half marathon or a marathon, you're going to be concentrating on longer runs. All you're trying to do is train your muscles to do what you want them to do come race time. Speed work. Speed work is any activity that you do that's going to help you increase your speed. So think of things like tempo runs and hill repeats and intervals. Splits. This is when you divide the length of a race into equal parts, usually miles. If you are running the entire race at just one pace, then that's called even splits. If you're running it slightly faster as you go along, then those are what's called negative splits. And usually what you're trying to avoid is if your intervals get longer and longer as the race goes on, you're running positive splits. Stability. Stability in a running shoe means that it is reducing the amount of extra motion that your foot is making. Static stretching. This style of stretching means that you are going to lengthen a part of your body into a position and hold it for about 10 to 30 seconds. It's usually the first thing that people think of when they think of stretching. Static stretching is best used as part of your cool down once your muscles are already warm. You should look to dynamic stretching for part of your warm-up. And let's go back to the letter D if you would like to know more about dynamic stretching. Streaking. Don't worry, it has nothing to do with nudity. A streaker will run consistently every day for a certain period of time. You could run every day for a week, every day for a month, every day between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Think of it as your own personal running challenge. Strength training. Literally, you're training for strength, either using weights or your own body weight. Strength training is absolutely helpful for a runner. If you can work strength training into your routine at least twice a week, you're going to see a lot of reduction in injury. After all, more muscle means more force, and therefore the faster or farther you'll be able to run. Stride. Stride is the forward steps that you take during a run. It also can mean a series of short sprints. So if you say you're going to go out and run strides, you're going to run some sprint intervals as part of your workout that day. Stride rate. Stride rate is the number of times that your foot will hit the ground during a minute of running. You can also see cadence under the letter C. Your stride rate or your cadence helps to measure your running efficiency. Having a high stride rate, say 170 per minute or so, is a sign of good efficiency in a runner and will typically help you run faster and reduce injury. So what you're doing is you are looking at the total number of times that either foot hits the ground. So say for a stride rate of 170, then each foot would have hit the ground around 85 times. Supination. Supination is the opposite of pronation. Supination means that the outside edge of your foot will roll towards the outside every time you toe off. So think about trying to push off with your pinky toe area. Usually the problem with over-supination in the foot is that it doesn't absorb shock very well, and so it's going to be harder on your feet every time they hit the ground. If you think this might be you, definitely have someone check it out. Chances are you're not going to deal with this problem, as it usually only affects about 1% of the running population. So there you go, some vocabulary words starting with the letter S. If you found this video helpful or fun or anything like that, make sure that you let me know by dropping a comment down below or giving me a big thumbs up. Once again, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of the rest of this series or the rest of the running content that I have coming out all the time. Why don't you follow me on social media? You can find me across most platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you could drop in, and I can't wait to see you next time. Happy running. Such as too much air getting